So yesterday we had completed these bullet points, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me add one more bullet point over here, that the class hierarchy and inbuilt exception classes.
Inbuilt. Okay.
There are lots of inbuilt exception classes. Okay, so to name a few, can you all name few inbuilt exception classes?
Inbuilt.
It's already there in Java. So there is arithmetic exception is one of them, right?
Yes, sir. Arithmetic. Null.
IO exception, sir. IO exception.
Arithmetic exception is inbuilt. IO exception is inbuilt.
Array out of bound exception.
Array out of
Bound exception.
bound
Null pointer.
exception. Okay, null pointer exception.
SQL exception.
Okay, so
SQL.
we took example of which one yesterday? We took example of null pointer, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Null pointer, you all are comfortable now. Okay. And then we have number format exception. What does this do? We have input mismatch.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking an input from user and I'm expecting an integer, but I give something else on the LHS. These are your ready-made exception classes. Okay, so we've discussed them yesterday, right? We took examples of arithmetic. Let's take array index out of bounds. So as the name suggests, what do you think would be array index out of bounds? What would be?
Can I share my screen, sir?
You want to show something? Yeah, okay.
Just a minute, sir. Actually, I'm connecting with my laptop. I was just trying to practice the last class, and there is some issue with the finally command. Actually, it is showing all the program run, but the finally command, I mean, I'm unable to do that. So I just wanted to show you what's the problem. I'm unable to understand the error.
Okay, Farooq. Let's be waiting for you to share screen.
Just 1 minute.
Yes. So can you take the mouse over there towards that finally? Why have you crossed? Why have you closed one extra bracket after catch? 27 and 28.
Okay. So actually, I was just trying to close all the bracket.
Yeah.
And in the end, I just introduced the finally command.
Yeah. So now it's sorted. No, you have to close that catch. Close one bracket. Yeah. Now you are doing a try. The first catch ends on 21 to 23. Second catch from 25 to 28. Finally from 30 to 31. Now you have to close the main and now close the class. Main closes, enter, class closes. Yeah. Now if you see towards the scroll bar, you see that, do you see a scroll bar towards the right? Where you can, yeah. And just besides the scroll bar, do you see those black, gray, yellow dots?
No, sir.
Visible to you?
So where?
Do you see the scroll bar where you can go up and down in the programming window?
Yes, sir.
Just besides that, towards the right, you see this small scroll bar? No, towards the left. Just adjacent to the scroll bar, yeah, this bar. You see this black dots, gray dots, black rectangles, gray rectangle, yellow rectangle.
Yes, sir.
So if there is any syntactical error in your code, you will see a red rectangle over there. Now just eliminate, just make one syntactical error, remove a semicolon or remove a parenthesis. So you will see a red dot over there. You see a red rectangle.
Yes, sir.
So you have to take the scroll bar over there. So now come down, scroll down. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Yeah. Down further. Yeah, keep going down. Okay, go up, go up, go up. Go up. Yeah, put the semicolon. And now scroll up. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. And after line number 9, remove the semicolon. So now that red will come over there. Now come down. Come down, keep coming down, keep coming down. Yeah. Now when you see a program, always look at that scroll bar. Do you see any red dot?
Yes, sir. I can see
There
here.
is some syntactical error over there. So now take the scroll bar over there. So you have to take the scroll bar towards that red.
So this says
Drag the scroll bar up now. On that parallel to the red rectangle. And then it will show you where the error is. Now put a semicolon. And the red vanishes, correct? Now is there any red rectangle? Is there any red rectangle now?
So there's a small one, but
Red, I am asking red.
no, sir.
So now come down. Now after line number 28, hit a enter. After line number 28, hit a enter. Yeah, enter. Now give one more parenthesis. So now you should have directly looked at this red rectangle. Means there is some syntactical error you have made at this position. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So all you had to do is scroll till there, and then it would show you what you have done. So there you had to just go and eliminate this, remove it. So when you would come and remove it, that red rectangle vanishes. Now run the code. Now you can run the code. Did it run?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And sir, when I was just trying, for example, if I write there 2.5, so it's just asked me for valid integer. I mean,
2.5 on the LHS we have taken a D, and D is an integer variable, correct?
correct.
So it's
So how
2.5.
I was just trying to convert it into double,
So
but
give a bracket before line number, go at line number, go to the right of the equal to sign. So
so
this will be narrowing, right? What are you doing?
narrowing, yes, sir.
And narrowing leads to data loss. So you have to explicitly say. So just go towards the right of equal to. Line number 16. Yeah. Go towards the right of equal to in round brackets, give int. So now you will typecast it. Just towards the towards the right of equal to. Just yeah, over there in round brackets. Give int. Singles, small int. The one we have declared at line number 9. Yeah, now this will convert your double to integer. But as we are doing narrowing, so So we are taking permission. So we are saying, okay, I'm doing it with the permission. Now try to run. Now this 2.5 will be considered as 2 now. 2.5 will be considered as 2.
So now if I just write there, for example, 5.
Did you write 5 over
I
there?
added 2. So it's showing me 2.
Yeah. And remove that 5 from line number 16. Okay. So now it is taking 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, but it is showing you 2. Because the answer
Right.
is an integer.
So it should be 2.5. So
But
if
then
we just
take a double on the LHS. Then answer will be should be of type double.
here,
Answer next line. Yeah, so
Answer.
declare the answer of type double, line number 9. You want the answer in decimal, right?
right.
So at line number 9, remove that answer and at line and hit enter and declare it again by double type.
Here, sir, double.
Double answer. Now run.
Sir, it's still
We are
2.0.
converting the d to an integer. An integer divided by an integer will give you an integer which we are converting to double. Okay. Integer divided by integer will give you an integer. Integer divided by integer will give you an integer. Integer divided by an integer divided by integer will give you an integer. Okay, open Google, Chrome.
So line number 10, he write here double ANS. That's the reason it shows a 2.0. Line number 10,
No,
sir.
he is saying 5 divided by 2 should show 2.5, no?
But sir, answer is a double, na sir? So it shows a 0.0, na?
No, if I divide 5 by 2, 5 by 2 should show 2.5, right? Farooq, open Chrome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
You stopped sharing.
Actually, sir, number 1 and number 2 both are integer, right, sir?
Yeah.
Number 1 and number 2. So, sir, 5 divided by 2 equal to 2.
Yes.
But answer is a double. That's the reason it shows a 2.0, not only 2 and 2.5.
Yes, got it. So no, Farooq, int divide by no, not this. Type int divide by int. Divide, no, right, divide, no. Yeah, int divide. Yeah, see it's come. Int divide by int in Java. See it's come. Yeah, take that. So it says when two integer values are divided, the result will be an
Integer.
So he's saying if you divide 7 by 3, you are expecting 2.333, correct?
Correct.
But it will give you 2. It will give you,
2.
and that 2 is then converted to double as 2.0. That's what Shabana is telling. See, because it uses this logic, Farooq. See, if you can stop share, I'll tell you how it is doing. It uses that arithmetic of third standard.
Okay, sir,
It
I'm
uses
stop
the
sharing.
Yeah, it uses the arithmetic of third standard. You see my screen?
Yes, sir.
You see, right? So it uses this arithmetic concept, same what we were taught in school. So now what you want? 7 divided by 3, correct?
Correct, sir.
So what we would do, 7 is the numerator goes inside and the denominator goes outside, correct?
Correct.
So what would this be?
3 to the 6.
And the remainder is
1.
this is what it is returning. Getting it?
Yes, sir. So how can we
Then use
make
double.
this?
Then use doubles on both sides. Then it is better that we use double on both sides. So then you can do this. So what you can do is, instead of taking integers, take them as double n1, n2, and answer. Okay. So now if I do
Yes, sir. No exception is occur here. When we use a double, then exception is not here, sir.
no, we are not
Try it, sir. Try it, sir.
we are not going
You
for
choose a N1 is 10 and N2 is 0, then answer is a 0 point something answer is, but not a exception in case of double.
see, Shabana, we are trying to solve this.
Try it, sir.
We are trying to solve this. We are trying to solve 3.0 divided by 7.0. This is what we are trying to solve. We are not going for arithmetic exception. So what is the answer of this? 7 divided by 3 is giving you 2, correct? And not 2.33. So my question is, if I want 2.33, the exact answer, then what will I do? Then I will do 7.0 divided by 3.0. This will give me 2.33. This is what we are discussing. We are not discussing the arithmetic exception. Farooq's concern is, why is it showing 2 when it should show 2.33? Because if on the calculator, if I do 7 divided by 3, will show me 2.33. But why is Java showing me 2? Because Java does this.
If you want the answer is 2.33, then he take the double in place of integer.
That's what we are doing. That is what we are discussing. No, that is what we are discussing. That is
We
what
were doing.
that is what I'm
Yes,
doing
sir.
over here. That is what I'm doing over here.
That's what we were discussing about,
Yeah.
sir. So in the first line, I mean, wherever we have write the int, we don't need to write the int. We
Yeah.
just write double.
Yeah, if you want to do that. So now if I tell sys out, please enter numerator. Now I'll take it in the double, right? So I will say what? N1 equals to, we have SC, right? So have we commented the SC?
Sir, if we just make the changes on line number 9, instead of writing integer, if we write double N1, N2, and SC, then the program will be, I mean, run accordingly.
So let me do this, then I'll come to your query. So
Sure.
this is what we are doing. And now we are doing answer equals to N1 divided by N2, and we are sys out the answer. Okay. So now if I enter 7 and 3, it should give me 2.33 ideally. So 7 will be taken as 7.03 as, okay, making sense?
Perfect. Yes, sir.
Now what were you telling? What should I make changes now?
Yes, sir. Then go to line number 9.
Line number 9.
And beside make all these changes, if we just write there instead of integer, if we write there double and D an answer.
If I make here double, okay. If I make here
And then
double, then
yes.
scanning also
And, and delete all the
scanning.
lines.
Then here also we'll have to use those, no, in double. Are you getting it?
Okay. So
So if you tell that don't write a separate code, just modify the existing code. So modifying the existing code means this. Now we are make this as double, right?
right.
Okay, so if I make this as double, then while scanning enter a number, I'll take it as int next
Double.
double. And here enter denominator, then next
Double and answer
is the same.
is the same.
Okay. Okay, if I declare them as double and scan them as next integer, will this work?
No, sir. It should not. I mean,
Wider
we should be
specifier can contain smaller specifier. If I have a 4 kilo container, if I have a container which has capacity of 4 kg and I'm putting it in 2 kg, will it allow or not?
allow it.
Yeah, so it should not be a problem, right?
But sir, I mean, the data type is not a problem here because we are.
Let's check. Let's check. Does it throw any exception? Let's check. If it throws any exception. No. Okay, it's accepting it. Because we are declaring them as double, right? And we are declaring as a wider specifier, correct?
Yes, sir. Correct. I got the point.
Narrow type. It is permissible.
Permissible.
Let's try vice versa.
No, it will not work, sir.
Then it should not, right?
Right.
Then it that you're trying to scan a double and put into an integer, then it should not. What it is telling? Cannot convert from
Double to integer.
double to integer. So then what should we have to say? Correct?
Correct.
I have to typecast it that. Okay, you are giving me a double, but I am converting it to an integer because the variable I have taken on the LHS is an integer. So narrowing has to be done explicitly. Okay. Widening, as there is no data loss, is done internally, implicitly. But narrowing has to be done explicitly. This is called explicit type conversion. What is this called as?
Explicit type conversion.
So when do we do explicit type conversion? For narrowing, correct?
Correct.
And when do we do implicit type conversion?
So we call implicit type conversion or widening.
In widening, right? So there is no data loss. Getting it?
Yes, sir. I got the concept. Perfect.
You got it? Shabana, what we were discussing? We were not discussing arithmetic exception.
Sir, I understand, sir.
Understood, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So anything else you want, Farooq, clarification? So,
No, sir. I'm good,
good.
sir. Thank you.
All good? Perfect.
Yes, sir.
So let's resume the discussion. So I added one more extra point to this list of exception topics. Inbuilt exception classes. Okay. So we discussed few of them yesterday. We discussed arithmetic exception yesterday. So when we try to divide by 0, we get arithmetic exception.
Null pointer and input.
We also discussed null pointer.
Null pointer exception, input mismatch exception we have discussed.
We also discussed null pointer exception. Okay. So this all, so there's a vast list of exceptions. If whenever you do your SQL database, you'll have SQL exceptions coming in. Whenever you have any IO, input output, that is you are dealing with files, that time you'll have your IO exception. So if you import packages of the IO class, which class?
IO, input and output.
So these classes which are there in this IO package have a tendency of throwing IO exception, which is a checked exception, which is a
Checked exception.
what is a checked exception? The compiler will not compile the code unless and until you show some handling mechanism that I have taken measures to handle this exception. If you don't show that, the compiler will not compile the code. Okay, and these are all unchecked. Number format exception, I presume, should come when I say, let's say I take integer a of this is new integer of size 5, and if I try to say a of 0 equals to Alice, will this store? Will this store Alice at 0 index? Is this possible?
No.
So what
No,
sort of
sir.
exception are we
It should not be.
What sort of exception are we expecting?
Input mismatch or default. I mean, it's null pointer.
Array store exception. This should lead to array store exception, I guess. This one exception called as array store exception. So if you are trying to store something in an array which is of not that type, will throw which exception?
No, sir.
Okay, number format exception will come, you know when? What does integer dot parse int do? Okay, if I have string s1 equals to 1 1, and if I have string s2 equals to 2 2, what will be the output if I do SOP s1 plus s2? Any guesses?
Yes, sir. 1122.
1 1 2 2, but I want as 33. I
Yes,
want
sir.
put as 33. So what do I do?
You want to 33.
Hmm.
Then, sir, use a integer s1.
No, I want a string s1 only.
You want a string.
I want to keep it as string only. S1 should be a string. S1 will not be an integer.
Okay.
This two lines will not change. The code should be ahead of this. You cannot modify these two lines. Now what to do?
Okay. So you don't want to modify with this. Then you can use a search SOP.
Okay.
SOP and bracket 1 1 plus 2 2.
No. I already have the 1 1 and 2 2 over here. No. Now just use.
No, exactly 1 1 2 2, not S1 or S2.
I have 1 1 and 2 2 in these string variables. Now using these string variables, I want to do the addition. I want answer as 3 3.
Convert string into integer.
Perfect. So how do we do that?
Integer parse.
Have we not done this? Integer dot parse int s1. So what will it do? It will clip the wings. It will clip this wing. So this 11 which is there like this, after parse int, the wings of this 11 will be clipped. This will be clipped and this will be. So what will it become?
11.
And 11 will go in which variable?
N1. Yes.
Similarly, what will I say?
Sir,
Similarly
have
for
have we start recording again?
Yes, we have, right? Yeah, we have recording. Yeah, do you see this? You are sharing screen and you see a cloud and a dot, red dot. Do you see a cloud logo and a red dot blinking inside that on the screen?
yes, sir, I can see. Yes, sir.
That shows
It's
recording.
recording.
That means recording is in progress.
Yes, sir.
So I'll do S2. So what will this do now?
22.
So it will take the number 22 and do what? Clip it wings. So the wings will be
Yes.
clipped. So 22 will become what?
And 2.
And then what can I do now? If I want 33 now, what to do? If I want 33, what to do now?
N1 plus N2
Add
Yes.
N1 plus N2. Add both of them.
and 3. Yes.
And then SOP what?
N3.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
now my question is, what if now this was a numeric string, correct? What was this?
Numeric.
The numeric string can be converted to a number using parse int, correct?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Now what if S1 contained this? Now what? Now am I able to convert 11 apple to 11?
No, sir, not possible.
Exception will it come now?
Yes, sir.
Which exception will it throw? This
Just
one.
put mismatch.
No, this one. Which one?
Number format exception.
Number.
format exception.
Getting it? You want to try? You can try. So I'll remove all this unwanted stuff. This we have right from yesterday. So let me remove all this. So I don't want this also. Just comment them meanwhile. So what I do? String S1 equals to 1 1, let's say. And string S2 equals to 2 2. And I say integer N1 equals to. So what am I using over here? What is this integer called as? Wrapper class. What is it called as? You've done wrapper classes, right?
Which class, sir?
Wrapper.
Wrapper. Okay.
N2 equals to. And now if I say integer N3 equals to N1 plus N2, and I sys out
Print.
N3. So what will this display?
33.
33. Okay, but now if I make this as, now what? Now what will occur?
Number format exception.
Have I done any catching?
No.
So what will it do?
Terminate and throw it on the console.
Yes. Okay. Terminated. And which exception has occurred?
Sir, it's number format exception. Perfect.
Which
Got
line?
it, sir.
Which line?
Line. I cannot see. Oh, 13.
13. Line number 13. Okay.
Yes.
So what do we do then now? So this code is notorious. Put it in a try and
Then catch.
Eclipse gives you the privilege. As you type NUM, as you type
NUM.
and give control space bar. Give what?
Control space bar.
You can say, got this one you're looking for, correct?
Correct.
And then you can say, make an object of it E1. And what will you say?
System not print out. Please enter valid.
Enter numeric string. Numeric,
String.
you have entered an alphanumeric string. So now this will handle and program will not terminate. Okay, making sense? What the difference between input mismatch and so input mismatch
Sir,
when you take the
It's
input.
directly asking for please enter numeric string. I mean,
Yeah.
first it should ask for some.
No, we have hard coded them, no? We have hard coded these two strings.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Directly it will come to this line and here it is causing a problem. So as soon as it sees the exception, directly it will throw here. Getting?
Yes, sir.
So that is what you have to be careful of. You got it?
Yes, sir.
So now should we move ahead with the other topics?
Sir, we can see the eclipse.
No, so should we move ahead with the other topics? Should we move ahead now?
Yes,
So
sir.
what was the next topic we had?
Sir, we can only see the eclipse. Other topics are on the Word file.
Okay, now we are okay. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
have different exceptions. Okay, so in build exceptions, you can study array index out of bounds exception also. So if I have an array and if I try to specify an index which is out of the bounds, then it will throw which exception? Array.
Array. Sir, if we just remove apple from this
Yeah,
and
it will work.
just run this.
Yeah, this will give 33. We did that, no, previously?
Yes, sir. Sir, okay. If it will be a scanner, I mean, we are asking the number from the user.
Yeah,
Then it will ask for the numerator and denominator thing.
then
But here,
you remove this line. Okay, and then you can say sys out, enter,
numerator,
and that is a string, right?
right?
Sc dot next. And
And
similar,
then again, enter denominator.
that will go S. Yeah, so now you can enter the from the user. Okay. So 22 and 11, 33. And now if I
Perfect. And
anything else,
11 apple.
2 again I will can this 2 be converted to a numeric string, numeric integer?
No, sir.
We'll throw
It's 22A.
So we'll throw an exception at line number 12, which will be directly caught. Okay, so what will happen over here now? Tell me.
Sir, the program will terminate and it will ask you for enter valid string.
No. See, it will accept this 22A and put it in the string S1, correct?
Correct.
So string S1 will have this value. Yes. And then if I enter denominator, if I enter 10, so what is string S2 having?
10.
And now what am I trying to do? Convert 20 to A to integer. Will it convert? Now this line, 70, line number 17. If I clip the wings of 20 to A, what do I have? What do
So
I have?
22 and 10, I mean, they are not the same data type.
So this will throw an exception. Number format will be caught over here and will say, please enter what?
String. Yes, sir. Numeric string.
Okay. So this is one of the exceptions. Then your array exceptions. What are they? Integer A is new. Integer, let's say of size 5. Now can I say A of 5 equals to 100? Is it permissible?
Yes, sir.
Is it? Are you sure?
No, 1 minute.
Will you have an index of 5?
No.
So which exception do you think out of these will be thrown?
Array out of
Array.
bound exception.
We missed the keyword index. Which keyword we missed?
Index.
So what will be the array index out of bounds? What? The index will come where? Here. Where will the index come? So what is the exception?
Array index out of bound.
Bounds. Out of?
Bounds.
Yeah. So if I
You can remove it and rewrite if you want.
run it over here, you will say the exception. Got it?
Array index out of bounds. Yes, sir.
So now you'll have to enter index within the proper range. Okay. Okay. Now will this give me array index out of bounds? Will this give me array index out of bounds?
No, sir.
No, sir. But now if I say now
Yes, sir.
this is giving an error. What is it telling? Cannot
Mismatch.
convert from string to
Integer.
okay. So now if I say sys out, if I just give me a minute. So now if I say please enter a number and I say a of 0 equals to sc dot what? Next int. sc. Okay. Now tell me what will happen. Now tell me what will happen. Anyone? Yes, no, maybe.
Sir, input mismatch exception.
Is it? Yeah, because we are scanning, right? But what we are scanning is not an integer. So what we are scanning is not an integer. So it will throw which one? Input mismatch, correct?
Correct. Sir.
Yes.
I was right.
So now if I say a of 0 is a new integer, but okay, this will not take it because it is a typecasting step. So I'm looking for example of array store. Okay, so let's say if we had,
Sir, how it be underlined? I mean the integer.
1 second, integer a is, let me check. So it doesn't have a constructor, I guess. There is no constructor without, no, there is no args constructor in integer class. There is no, and this has been deprecated now. It is no more used. So now if I use this, cannot convert double to integer. Okay, and if I use a double over here, then if I try to use an array of double, and in that I try to store an integer, what is it telling? Cannot convert integer to double. Okay, I guess this is what it is showing. Your array store exception. Let me, okay, now if I say over here 5, then the array is of type double, cannot convert from int to double. Okay, and as it is a red, this code will not run as it is. So it cannot convert from type. I'm looking for a number array store exception, that here the array store exception will occur. That is what I am looking at when it raises an array store exception. Okay, let me get back to you all on this. Let's progress with the next topic. Okay, what is nested try? What do you mean by nested try? Okay, do you all watch the Indian Premier League? Anyone?
Try. That try is called a nested try.
Yeah, so and does anyone from you all follow Indian Premier League, IPL cricket? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so in that we have 8 to 10 teams participating, and the top 4 teams progress to the next round, and the last 4 teams, they are eliminated. Okay, so now if I have teams A, B, C, D, and this is how they stack up after the round robin stage. Now A and B will play with each other. Rank 1 and rank 2 will play, and whoever wins goes to the final. This is called as qualifier 1. This is called as qualifier 1. So winner of this goes to the final directly. And 3 and 4 will play a match, the loser of which goes out, is eliminated. So this is called as eliminator round. So whoever loses is eliminated. You go home. And the winner of this round, this match, the winner of C and D plays with the loser of A and B. That is called as qualifier 2. So this winner and this loser they play a match. And then the winner of which goes to the final. And then they play a match, and then who wins wins the trophy. So my question is there any advantage of finishing in the top two? Is there any advantage for the team which finishes at rank 1 or 2?
Yes.
What is the advantage?
That they will have another match and they can still, after losing the match, they will be able to come to the final.
Yes, so they have 2 attempts to reach the final. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Even if they lose the first attempt, they still have the second attempt, correct?
Correct.
So this is the logic of nested try. So nested in programming means, what does the word nested in programming mean?
Make a nest.
One inside the other. Nested means,
One inside the other.
so like a kangaroo, like a
Kangaroo pouch.
means one kangaroo inside another kangaroo, correct?
Correct.
So what is nested if? What is
One
nested?
inside. One inside the other.
One if inside another if. What is nested for? What is nested for?
Same as a nested if, one inside to another.
One for inside another for.
Yes.
What is nested while?
Same sir as a nested code while.
One while inside another while. So what is nested try?
One trial, another nested.
Okay.
Another
So
trial.
now this red is which try, and this green
Nested.
try. Which is outer, which is inner?
Green one is the outer, red one is inner.
Okay. So this outer will have its own set of catch, and inner will have its own set of catch, because it is try catch, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this inner will have its own set of catches, and this outer will have its own set of catches. So red block will have red catch. Okay, and catch 1, catch 2, blah blah blah, catch n, correct? And the green will have his own set of catches. Am I understood, or is there any confusion? Can one try have multiple catches? Can one try have multiple catches?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can, right? We've done that. We've done that topic. Point number 6. Yes or no? Like yesterday we had done the same try catch, could throw input mismatch, could throw arithmetic. So now, if an exception occurs in this try block, which catch will catch it? Inner or outer?
Inner.
I'm in the green part.
Outer.
I'm in the green part. I'm coloring it with green. And what if an exception occurs in this red part?
Inner.
Who will catch it?
It's 10 o'clock.
So if an exception occurs in the inner try, will be caught by whom? If an exception occurs in the inner try block, it will be caught by which catch?
That's all.
Inner catches, correct? And if an exception occurs in the outer try, it will be caught by whom?
Outer catch.
Outer catch. Make sense to you all? but this inner try gets 2 attempts. So if an exception occurs over here, it will first look whether any of the inner catches can catch it. If it is caught, well and good. Then it also tries to check whether any of the outer catch can catch it. So even if the inner catch doesn't catch this exception, it will also be checked whether an outer catch can catch it. If outer catch can catch it, exception is still handled.
Can we have an example for that?
This example. So A and B, even if they lose, they get one more attempt. So an exception occurring in the inner try. First we'll go to which catch? Exception occurring in the inner try will first go to which catches?
Inner catch?
If any of the inner catch catches that exception, it will be handled.
No.
If any of the inner catches, they catch this exception, it can be handled.
Yes, sir.
Right? Who's saying no?
Yes, sir.
And if any of the inner catches fail to catch the exception, then
It will go for the outer one.
it will get one more attempt. Check whether any of the outer catch is willing to catch it. If any of the outer catch catches the exception, then also it will be handled and program will not terminate.
Okay, sir, what is the implications of this nested try in Java?
So we can have an additional security layer. See, I'll give you an example of programming. Okay. So
Yes.
let's take the example wherein I take an array. Okay. I take an array of size 2. Of size what?
2.
So, and size 2, I put the, let's directly put the elements. So what are my 2 elements in that array?
10 and 0.
10 and 0. Now I will do a division. I'll do a division, okay? So I will take the numerator as well as denominator, correct?
Correct.
And I will take double answers, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, let me draw it for you all now. I will go parallelly. So this is how my array looks like at the moment. Correct? Array name ARR. Value at index 0. Value at index 1. What is it?
10, 0.
Now, out of this, I will take the numerator and denominator. I will take the, which will be N and D, which will be what?
N and D.
So I will ask the user to enter index of the numerator. Enter the
Index.
So I ask the user SOP enter index of what?
Numerator.
Numerator. Okay. So he enters index as 0. What does he enter?
0.
So my numerator becomes what?
10.
ARR of n. Okay. So n goes into, so what does I tell enter index of numerator? What does he enter?
0.
0. 0 goes into which variable?
Array.
0 goes into which variable?
N.
And now I say, let's take something called as integer numerator equals to ARR of n. So now what is my numerator? Now what is my numerator? 10, right?
Right.
Similarly, I tell enter denominator,
0.
whatever. Enter index of denominator. And he again enters 0. He again enters 0.
Index of numerator should be 1.
No,
I
it
mean,
can be anything what the user enters.
okay.
So I say enter index of denominator. Okay. So what does he enter? It goes into which variable?
0 into n
Into which variable?
d.
Correct? Correct. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. One second. Okay, so let's take some more easier one. So let's say if I say integer of 2, what does this mean? What does this mean now? Anyone?
So array for
I made an
Yeah.
array. What is the name of the array?
ARR
Okay. And what is the size of that array?
2.
Okay. So now I will populate this array with the two numbers. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What will I tell the user? Enter number at 0 index, enter number at first index, correct?
Yes, correct, sir.
So what message will I print to the user? Enter number at
0 index.
0 index. So what will you enter?
10.
10. So how will I scan that?
ARR 0. Yeah. SC dot next int.
And if I want to enter the number at index 1, what will I say?
Same, just replace ARR 0 to 1.
So what exception can occur over here? What exception can occur over here, Ataullah? Farooq, which exception are you anticipating might occur over here?
Array out of bounds.
Array index of
Have hard coded the indexes. Is 0 and 1 out of bounds?
Input mismatch out of.
Mismatch, yes, input mismatch maybe.
So I will put this in a try catch. Okay. And
Yes, sir.
this might lead to which exception? So if I try to enter over here apple, will it accept?
No.
So which exception am I anticipating?
Input mismatch, yes.
What will I tell the user then?
Please enter valid.
Please enter integer value only.
Please enter.
Sir, please enter valid integer.
Okay, whatever you want to do. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So now if he enters 10 and 20, whatever, if he enters 10 and 2, where will 10 go and where will 2 go? Where will 10 go and where will 2 go?
10
Yes.
will go in numerator.
There is no
and
exception and
10
program
will
flow
come
is
here.
smooth here.
10 will come here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Correct.
And 2 will come here, correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. And now I want to divide them. Now I want to do what?
Divide.
So now I want to accept the index of the numerator and denominator. Okay. So if I say SOP, enter index of numerator, enter index of,
Numerator.
and he enters 0. He enters what?
0.
And I scan it in integer n. Okay. So what will be in n now?
10.
Zero.
N will be what?
0.
0. N will be 0. And if I say enter index of denominator,
1.
okay, and he enters 1 will go in which variable? D. Okay. And now I take double result. I take what? And I say ARR of n divided by ARR of D. Are you all getting?
Yes, sir.
What is in n?
0.
0. And what is in D?
1.
1.
D. So, and what am I doing over here?
Divide.
Taking the array.
So what will be the answer in result?
5.
And if I display the result, what will it display me?
5.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
It shows a 0.0
It will show 0.0.
because sir, you write here a 0 above and downside is a 1. Then 1 is divided by 0 is a 0 and result is a
No.
double. That's the reason is a 0.
Sir,
We
it's
are
asking
taking array.
index of
10
numerator.
divided
Sir,
by 5.
So here is a integer is a n is a 0 and d is a 1. Then 1 is divided by 0 is a 0 and last one is a double result. That's the reason is a 0.0 answer, not an exception according to me.
You are missing out on the ARR.
Yes, sir. It's asking index of numerator,
I'm
index of
I'm
denominator.
doing ARR of n.
Yes.
Then
10
sir, where
divided by
n
5.
is a 0, no sir.
Yeah, so ARR of 0 is what?
So 0 is divided by 1.
No, 0 is
Then
10.
answer is a 0. And
Please respond.
what?
The answer is 5.
No, here
Shabana,
when you
listen.
write n equal to 0.
Take the habit of listening first. You listen what I'm trying to say. We are doing ARR of 0. We are not doing 0. I am not doing n by d. Listen first.
Yes,
We
sir.
are not doing this. We are not doing this. What are we doing? We are doing ARR of n. So if n is 0, what is ARR of 0? Shabana,
10.
Okay, sir. I get it, sir.
you got it, right? So
You
we
got
are,
it, yeah.
what will be the answer over here now, Amir?
5, sir.
And it will display 5, okay?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, what exception are you anticipating at this place?
Say it again, sir. What?
What exception are you anticipating at this in this code?
Sir?
Arithmetic
Arithmetic, right?
exceptions.
Arithmetic.
Arithmetic. Yes, sir. Arithmetic.
Because if this is 0, it can be, right?
Yes, sir. It can be. Yes.
So what will this code throw? Arithmetic exception, correct? Because you're doing 10
Yes.
by 0.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 10 divided by 0.
What
Yes.
I'll do is now, in this try, I will write one more try. And I will put this code over here. Getting it?
Okay.
I will put this code over here. So now my question is, which exception is possible in this try? So if I enter over here, enter number at index 0 is 10 and enter number at index 0 as 0, correct? And if I enter n as 0 and d as 1, what will this do? If I enter the number at 0 index as 10,
Yes.
at 1 index as 0,
Arithmetic
the
exception.
numerator as index 0 and denominator as index 1. So what will this divide? This will divide
0 over 1.
10 by 0, correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So we'll throw which exception?
Arithmetic exception.
Arithmetic.
So I will put a catch over here, which will catch which exception?
Arithmetic exception.
E1.
And what will I say over here?
System dot print out ln.
Denominator cannot be 0, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is making sense to you all?
Yes.
So what exception am I anticipating in the outer try?
Input mismatch.
So if I enter apple, will it ask me to enter number at index 1?
No.
Directly it will go to the outer catch, correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
And it will come to this catch. What will it say?
Please enter valid integer.
Okay, now if I enter over here 10, and if I enter over here apple, will it go and ask me this?
No.
No. No, sir.
It will directly go and ask for please enter valid integer.
Okay, now if I enter over here 2, and now if I go over here and enter index as numerator is 0 and index of denominator is 1, what am I trying to do?
10 divided by 2.
What will be the answer?
5.
Will there be any arithmetic exception?
No.
Directly I'll get the answer, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's take second scenario. If I take 10 and 0, will there be any input mismatch?
Yes, sir.
Will there be any input mismatch? 10 and 0. Will 10
No.
and 0 give me any input mismatch?
No, sir.
Farooq said yes. I don't know why.
Because both are integers, sir. So why is showing?
Right? So will there be any input mismatch? Will there be any input mismatch in this? Will I enter 10 and 0?
No, sir.
No. And now it comes over here and asks me index of numerator. I say 10. And denominator I say 1. What is it doing?
10 divided by 0.
What will this lead to then?
It's showing exception.
Which exception?
Arithmetic exception.
So it is being thrown in which catch? Outer catch or inner try or outer try?
Inner, sir.
So we'll go to which catch first?
Arithmetic exception.
We'll
Yes,
go to the
sir.
inner catch. Is the inner catch catching the exception?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So what will it say?
Denominator cannot be 0.
Cannot be 0.
Okay, making sense?
Yes.
So far so good. Are you all understanding? So far so good. Now,
Sir?
yes.
1 minute. If we are getting 10 over 0, so the program should be terminated and it will go to the cache.
It will
Am I
not
right?
terminate. It will throw an exception of arithmetic exception. and it will look whether there is any catch which is catching it, and this catch is catching it. Why will it terminate?
Right.
Why would it terminate?
I mean, it will not go, I mean, beyond this.
Yeah,
10
it will
divided by.
display the result you are trying to say.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, so there is a difference. Terminate means program will stop functioning, will stop premature abortion. Will that happen?
No.
No. Okay, now this is the moment of truth. Now this, if you understand, you will understand nested try. Now if I say enter index of numerator and I enter 3. Okay, sorry. If I enter here apple, now what?
So it will ask for, please enter valid integer.
So what will happen when I will make over here apple? What exception will throw?
Programs are terminated.
No, which exception will be thrown over here, Amir?
Input
Put
mismatch. sir.
Input
mismatch.
mismatch.
So it will search in which try for that exception.
So first inner try and then
Is
go
there
for-
any except catch which is catching input mismatch?
No.
So
No,
it will
sir.
then again check, is there any outer catch which is catching?
Yes.
So my program will say, please enter valid integer and
Yes, sir,
let it
correct.
continue.
I got the point. Yes, sir.
Got it? What is nested try?
Yes, sir. First, it will check first catch, then it will check the other catch. Yes, sir.
We first check the inner catch rather. Amit,
Inner. Yes, sir.
if an exception occurs in the inner try, it will first check in the,
Inner
Inner.
catch.
is there any inner catch which is catching exception of this type?
Input one.
No.
Mismatch.
Is
Yes.
there any inner catch which is catching exception of this type?
No,
No.
sir.
No. So again it gets one more attempt. Is there any
Yes.
exception in the outer catch which is catching this exception?
Yes, sir. Input
Program will
mismatch.
still be
Yes,
handled and
Handled.
program will not terminate. So if I display a high over here, this high will still be displayed because program will not terminate. Got it?
Yes, sir.
This is what I'm all trying to explain all this while by inner try. So let's run it. Let's run it now. Okay. So now we'll try all the permutations. So let's try. Happened. Where is the console? Where is the console? Where is the console window? Show view and console. What is it telling me?
Enter number at 0 index.
What do I say?
10.
Then it asks me enter index as 1 index. What do I say?
2.
And then it says
Answer.
enter index of numerator. So if I say 0 means which is the numerator?
10.
And then I say index of denominator. What do I say?
2. I mean 1.
The answer
The
now.
answer will be 5.
And then what will it display after 5?
High.
So 5 and high, correct?
Correct.
Here you go. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's take the second scenario. So now if I say enter index number of 0 index, I say apple. Now what?
So it will ask for please enter valid integer.
So no, I want you to first tell me what will happen at which line. So at line number
Input mismatch, sir.
at line number 14, what will Java do? It will identify which exception has occurred. Exception occurred is input mismatch exception. It will create
sir.
a object of that and throw it. So the remaining is skipped and it will go to catch, which is catching that object. Is that object being caught?
Yes, sir.
What will it display?
Enter valid integer.
And high. Correct?
Correct.
Scenario number 3.
Sir, I mean high will also be displayed if we use finally command.
Yeah, yes, you can use finally also if you want. Input high finally. Okay. Now let's try to run. Now if I say enter number at 0 index, I say 10 and then I say 0. Okay.
Okay.
Numerator index is 0 and denominator index is 1. Now what happens? 10 divided by 0. Correct?
10. Yes, sir.
10 divided by 0 is happening at this line. Which line? Line number 25. Correct?
Correct.
So object of which exception class will be created and thrown?
Arithmetic exception.
So it will be first seen in whether is there any inner catch which is catching it. Is it catching it?
Denominator cannot be 0.
And correct?
Correct.
So
High.
its denominator cannot be 0 and high. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Now let's go and check the other scenario. So now if I enter 10 and 2 and enter index of numerator as apple. Now,
So it will go for the
so where is this exception occurring at? Which try, inner or outer?
the inner one.
Which exception is being occurred?
Input sorry. Yeah, input mismatch exception.
So it will first search in the inner try. Is there any catch which is catching it?
No.
So it gets one more attempt at the cherry and it will check in the outer catch. Is it catching it?
Yes.
So will the program terminate or will the action be handled?
Sir, it will be handled and it will then print please enter valid integer and then I.
You see this? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Nested try.
So we need practice still.
Okay. See, this inner try is also prone for array index out of bound exception, correct?
Correct.
Because I just have these two options to enter, 0 and 1, correct?
Correct.
If I say enter index of numerator and if I enter 2, is this a valid index?
No.
So this is also susceptible to which exception?
Arithmetic exception.
Array index out of bounds. Which index?
Array out of bound.
So what will I say? Please enter valid index, correct? Are you getting it, guys?
Yes, sir. Because we have array of 2.
Array
So
of
I mean
two,
0 and 1.
Yeah.
So we cannot write 2 there.
Correct. So now if I enter in 10 and 5, okay. So number at 0 index is
10.
number at 1 index is
5.
5. And now if I come here, enter index of numerator and I enter 77. Is this a valid index?
No.
So at which line, which exception will be occurred? Tell me.
32 and
At which line?
no. Sorry. Line number 24.
Line number 25. Because n will have 77, correct?
Correct.
So 70 is anything array of 77 there or not?
No.
No,
There is
Will throw which exception?
array index out of
array
bound.
index out of bound.
It is thrown in which try?
Outer try.
Is it?
I mean,
Unless
sir,
It is being thrown in which try?
inner try. And
It
then
will go and search in the inner catches. Is there any inner catch which is catching it?
yes, sir.
yes,
Array
sir.
index out of
Will
bound.
it be
Third
handled?
one.
And what will you say?
Sir, it will say, please enter valid array.
Index.
Array
Index.
index. Array index.
And-
Yes.
Whatever. Okay.
And high.
Now let's run this. Okay, so if I enter 10 and 2 and I enter 77, it will take 77, correct? Will it also ask me for denominator index?
After 77, it will not ask you, sir.
It will ask because 77 is an integer. This is not throwing any problem. Problem is over here. 77, is it not an integer?
Yes, sir, it is.
Why will line number 22 cause a problem? It won't, right? So line number 22 will not cause a problem, correct?
Correct, sir.
Because 77 is a valid integer. Line number
Yeah.
25 will cause a problem. So will it
Yes, sir.
ask me enter index or denominator?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it will ask. Okay, and if I enter, let's say 1. And now this will be an exception, and we'll say what?
Please enter valid array.
Is that making sense to you guys?
Yes. Yes, sir, for me.
Understood? Nested try. Okay, so I can scratch that off also. Okay, good. Now we come to user defined exception. What do you mean by user defined? What do you mean by inbuilt? What do you mean by user defined? What do you mean by inbuilt? Yes. User defined function, inbuilt function, user defined class, inbuilt class. We hear a lot of these terms, right?
Sir, but I am overwhelmed by the nested try concept.
Understood it perfectly?
Yes, sir, but it's quite bombarded. I mean, I need to practice
Yes,
first.
you will have to practice that. Correct. Concept understood, right? At least?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then practice will make you perfect. So what are these two terms? You'll learn a lot about these two terms in your programming career. User defined built-in, user defined built-in.
Yes, sir. Built-in it already been uh, like we use import command for the built-in commands, but for the user defined, user already been defined. For built-in, we use import.java.util or scanner or whatever.
If I say with regards to functions or methods, whatever you call them as. So tell me, if I make a function called as area rectangle, you'll put it in which cell? User defined function or built-in function?
Sir, area of rectangle should be in built-in, but if we are asking for like radius, then it will go for the user defined.
So area of rectangle is my own customized method. Okay, I make area rect now, or area recti, whatever, or area rect SCS. So what is this function?
Sir, user defined.
User defined, right? Okay, and if I have a function called as length function of a string, which is this?
Built-in function.
Correct? You have user defined functions, you have built-in functions. Similarly, if I have a class called my student, my student SCS, and I have a class called as scanner, where will you put which? Where will my student SCS go?
Sir, user defined.
User defined class, right?
Right.
Scanner class.
Also the user.
No, sir, it's built-in.
Scanner class is built in the IO util package, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Similar.
Import java.util. Yes, sir.
With regards to exceptions, if I have this is which exception class?
Sir, built-in.
Built-in. And let's say if I am a stockist, from the factory, where does the goods go to? Directly to the retailer? Does it go to from the factory to the retailer? Or is there someone in the middle of the chain, supply chain?
Wholesaler.
Wholesaler, correct? So you have someone called as a wholesaler. So if someone walks up to a wholesaler and asks for one quantity, will the wholesaler supply one quantity?
No.
Why no?
Wholesaler supplies, sir, in a huge quantity.
In huge quantity. So he says minimum quantity 500. Minimum quantity how much?
500.
If the order is more than 500, accept the order. If the order is less than 500, say invalid quantity. Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So now if I make my own exception, low quantity exception. This is which exception?
User
User
defined.
defined.
So I can make my own exceptions also and throw them at a user defined business logic. So I will ask the user enter quantity. Please enter order quantity and I will scan that in the quantity variable qty equals to sc dot next hint. And then on my own business logic, I will put a if condition. If your quantity is greater
Less
than
than 5.
500, order accepted, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Less than 500.
Else what?
Order rejected.
Else throw an exception that invalid quantity, correct? Else then.
Correct.
So now as it is a user defined exception, we'll have to throw the exception explicitly. And what does Java throw? The class or the object? When Java comes across an exception, what is Java's natural tendency? To throw the class or to throw the object?
The object.
Object, sir. Throw the object.
So what will we do? Throw what? Object of which class? My own class.
Yes, sir.
And with a message, please enter valid. Is that making sense?
Yes.
So
Sir, do you have any daily life example for this?
yeah. So let me show you all the example. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So now if you want to make your own exception, okay, let's fall back over here. Who understood this diagram? The one in the blue part, the classes. Who was comfortable with this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Who was comfortable with these build classes?
Yes, sir, I am.
What
Yes, sir.
what is throwable? What is throwable?
Sir, object exceptions.
What is throwable? Who can explain?
Throwable, sir, are the object that comes under exceptions.
No. Object is the
Sir, throwable is a super class of all exceptions.
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Throwable is the super class of the entire exception hierarchy, correct?
Correct.
Top of the exception hierarchy. So who are the children of throwable?
Exception and error.
Exception error.
Error. Exception has how many children then? Exception also has now two categories of children. Which are they?
Sir, first checked and unchecked.
So who are the children of unchecked?
So runtime, null pointer, and
If the exceptions inherit from runtime, they are all.
unchecked.
And if the exception directly inherit from the exception class, they are.
Checked.
So
Exception.
IO exception extends directly from where?
Checked exceptions.
IO exception extends directly from exception class, correct?
Correct.
So IO is a checked exception. SQL exception extends directly from where?
Exception class,
So SQL also is a
checked exception,
arithmetic exception extends from whom?
runtime exception.
Time exception.
So all those exception classes which extends from runtime exception are called as,
Unchecked.
Unchecked.
am I understood?
So
Yes,
where
sir.
is the compile time exception?
Compile time exceptions, these are checked exceptions.
Checked exceptions are compile time.
Checked time exceptions are those which are warned by the compiler. Okay, that what measures have you taken to handle those exceptions if they occur, and unless and until we tell we show the compiler that we have taken the handling measures, it will not compile the code. So
Okay.
now whenever you are making your own exception, you can extend it from either exception or you can extend it from runtime exception. So what will be the difference if I extend my low quantity exception from exception class, and if I extend my low quantity exception from runtime exception class? Who will tell me what will be the difference if I extend my low quantity exception,
Sir, exception is built in and the runtime is user defined.
No, these are all built in. These are all parent children of throwable. So what will be the difference if I extend from exception and if I extend from runtime exception? What will be happening to the low quantity exception? What will it be? In which category will you categorize the low quantity exception if you extend directly from exception? And in which category will you categorize the low quantity exception if you extend from runtime exception? Let's say this is the interview and this is the question, and you crack this question and they release the offer letter.
The exception is extend the super class of exceptions, and now next one is a low class quantity exception, extend the runtime. Runtime is a sub class of exceptions. Runtime exception is.
Amir is there? Ataullah? Mehtab?
Yes, sir.
We are here.
Okay, I'll again revisit. See, children of throwable is what? Don't go into this area, okay? This area, don't go as of now.
Okay.
So, which child of throwable are we interested in at the moment?
Exception and runtime.
Exception, okay? Now, which are checked exceptions and which are unchecked exceptions? This is my question.
Compiler or
No, out
check.
of in this diagram only I'm saying which are checked and which are unchecked.
The checked are IO, SQL, class not found.
Yeah. So
Checked
what is the speciality of IO, SQL, and class not found? Just look at the diagram and reply. Just no need to go anywhere else. Just
directly from
Directly
inherited
for the
exception.
exceptions.
perfect. So those classes which extend directly from exception are called as
Checked exception.
checked exception. Am I understood? So
Yes, sir.
here if I have Tom exception.
So Omar, just one question. Like checked exception and compile time exception both are same or is different?
See, exceptions will occur at runtime. Errors will occur at compile time. It's only if you have a checked exception, the compiler will warn you that what precautions have you taken to handle this exception. And unless and until you show the compiler the handling mechanism, it will not compile the code. So once you convince the compiler that you have taken some handling mechanism, then and then only it will compile the code, else it will not compile the code. Your code will not execute. Exception will occur sometime, but it will
So
not.
I was thinking, so in what the exception, because suppose I forgot one semicolon, right, in system out.println.
Okay.
So what's the error that called? That's also
That is
compile
the
time, right?
error. That is the error which is coming up. So we are going to the exceptions are at runtime when the code starts executing. So if you are missing a semicolon, it will show you a red dot over here, and your code will not
So
execute.
that is not compile time exception, semicolon, if I miss the
That is
semicolon.
an error. That is an error. So
Error, okay.
if your red dot over here means it is an error.
Runtime error.
So this is not a exception. Exception is once your code starts executing, and then at the runtime, if it breaks, then it has broken via through some exception. And if you're having any error, the code will not.
Yeah, if you go back to SQL exception you have, right? So SQL except, and what else you are showing? Input output exception, right?
This is for input output classes, and this is for your database connectivity. If you
So class not found, we always get at runtime, correct? Like if I compile the code and then if the jar file is missing, then only I get at runtime, correct?
Correct. But that is not because of a programming logic. The exceptions which occurs due to the logic of the developer are categorized into runtime exception. So class missing is not the programmer's logic.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
So if I have a Tom exception in this category, so this Tom exception is coming under the umbrella of which exception now? Is inheriting from which exception?
Directly from exception.
So Tom exception is checked or unchecked?
Checked.
Perfect. And if I have a Jerry exception over here, so what will be the difference?
Is unchecked.
Why is it unchecked?
Because it's runtime exception.
Because it is extending from
Runtime.
those exceptions which extend from runtime are called as
Unchecked.
So that is what I've been asking all this while over here. So what will be the difference in point A and point B? That is what I've been asking.
Checked and unchecked.
Checked and unchecked.
So what checked, what unchecked, apple checked, orange unchecked, what? So now who can phrase the question properly? What is happening in scenario A and what is happening in scenario B?
The class A is inherit both the features of checked and unchecked, and class B only inherit the unchecked.
No, sir. Class A is directly
It is not
extended.
class A, that is option A. What is the class name?
Exception.
A are options I am giving. What is the class name?
Low
Low quality exceptions
Low
is the class
quantity
name.
exception.
Yeah, so what is happening in the case of option A to the low quantity exception? In which category will you fit it?
Low quality exceptions
Check.
in case option A can inherit both the checked and unchecked features of exceptions.
Absolutely wrong. In
Okay.
option A, my low quantity exception is a checked exception.
Checked exceptions. Yes, sir.
Perfect. And in option B, this answer was very simple. I
Unchecked.
don't know what took you all so long to reply. And in my option B, the low quantity exception will become a
Unchecked runtime exception.
So you have to look at which class it is extending from. If it is extending directly from exception, that class will become a
Checked.
and if it
Checked.
is extending from a runtime exception, it is
Unchecked.
unchecked. Okay, so these are very strictly checked. These are very strictly checked. I'll show you the difference. Okay, so now whenever you make your own exception, you need to extend it from either of these, depending whether you want to have a strict exception check or not so strict exception check. So make your own exception class. So I come here. Okay, I come here and I make my own exception class. So what do I say to it? What name have I given to the exception? You'll see my screen.
Sir, but we are quite overwhelmed to this.
So you want to pause here, or let's take this step. Okay, let's take this session. Let's take this topic. If you all absorb well and good, or else we'll do a recap on Monday for this. Okay.
Sure.
Sure, sir, that will be great. I mean, we want more on Monday about this topic.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, this is a very important topic. This topic is very important. So exception handling should be done thoroughly. So that's why we are going slow and steady. I'm not rushing. Today we just did one single program, right? That's only one topic we covered today. So now my question over here is, this exception is user defined or built in?
User defined.
Because I can give whatever name I wish to. I can give, if I want, I can give this name also, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is which exception?
User defined.
User defined. And it is which category?
Sir, inbuilt.
Checked, exception check.
Check.
So you can call it as,
User defined.
The define
Check.
user defined
Checked exception.
check exception, correct? Okay. Now, what am I doing over here? Okay, we need to throw an error message, correct? So tell me, what am I doing over here? Line number 5. What is it? Any guesses? Farooq, what is line number 5?
Low quantity exception is
So what is it?
Sir, it's inbuilt error.
One word. If you
Constructor.
can. Which constructor, Shabana?
Our constructor, sir.
Parameterized constructor. Constructor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Parameterized constructor.
So that's all you have to make. So you make a class by whatever name you wish to do, and then depending on whether you want strict exception checking or not strict exception checking, extend the appropriate class, error message, and then make your constructor as a parameterized constructor and pass this error message to the super class. So will this line number 7, what will it do? Where's Amir?
Yes, sir.
What is line number 7 doing?
It's pass the message error.
To whom? To Apple, to Orange, to Radish?
Super class constructor, sir. It shows a super class constructor of exceptions.
The super class
Error message.
Super class constructor, yeah.
Which is the super class?
Exception.
So it is passing it to the constructor of the exception class, correct?
Exception class, yes.
So now whenever I will make an object of low quantity, I will pass some string to it, correct? So whenever I will make an object of the low quantity, what will I pass to it? When is the constructor invoked? When is the constructor invoked, Amir?
Yes, sir.
When is the constructor invoked?
Create object.
At the time of object creation, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is happening over here? What does the new keyword do?
Creating an object, initializing an object.
And while creating the object, what am I passing as a parameter?
Please
Uh,
enter valid
Please
quantity.
enter valid quantity, yes.
is what type? What is the type of the parameter?
String.
This exception.
We'll go to a constructor which has string as an argument, correct?
Yes, correct, sir.
We will invoke this constructor, right?
Yes, sir.
And then this string
Right.
will be passed to which constructor?
Super
Class constructor. Okay.
super class constructor, yes.
So that's all you have to write in the exception class. Now this is a
Okay.
user defined exception. So this
Yes,
has to be thrown explicitly. Inbuilt exceptions are thrown implicitly. So arithmetic exception will automatically be thrown when you try to divide by 0, correct?
Yes, sir.
But low quantity exception you have to throw on your own business logic explicitly. So when will I throw this exception? When will I throw this exception? I'll create this code and send it to you all so that you all can have some backup. So when will I throw the low quantity exception, guys? When will the low quantity exception be thrown?
If the quantity will be less than 500.
Common sense, right? On that. So I'll remove all this stuff. Okay, and I'll say integer quantity, right? I take scanner, SC is new scanner. And now I tell, please enter quantity. And I take it in which variable? So far, so good. Anyone having confusion over here? Now, when will I throw the exception? And exception is thrown in a try. Exception is thrown from a try block, right? So when will I throw the exception?
It's 11 o'clock.
Quantity is greater than or equal to 500 means what? Means what?
Number accepted.
And else what will happen?
Please enter valid quantity.
So I'll throw the exception and we throw the object of an exception, correct?
Yes.
And then you can pass the message. Please enter quantity greater than 100, correct? So which exception will this try throw? Which exception will this try throw? If I enter quantity as 350, which exception are you expecting this try to throw?
User defined.
Please enter
What is the name of that exception?
low quantity exceptions.
In the catch,
So-
I will take the.
No quantity exception. Yes.
In the
Yes.
catch, I will take E1, correct? And if you want to display this message, directly what you do is directly display the object. Display the object. This object you display will display you this message. Okay, irrespective whether he buys or not, he's still our customer, and customer deserves the respect. So we'll say, thank you, visit again. Thank you. And visit again. Okay, so now I come over here, I enter quantity as 350. 350 greater than equal to 500, true or false?
False.
So we'll go in if or we'll go in else.
Else.
And what will we throw?
Please enter quantity.
We'll throw an object of which class?
Quantity exceptions.
So it will be caught by which catch? This catch, correct?
Yes.
And what will we display? The error message.
Please enter.
That.
Yes, sir.
And will it display this line? Thank you, visit again.
Thank you. Visit again. Finally, it shows.
Okay, so now, and if I enter 650, then
Then it shows the first line is this is now order accepted.
and
Thank you. Visit again.
thank you,
Yes.
visit again. Okay, let's try to run this code.
Sir, please give a recap on Monday for this as well.
Yes, we'll do. No worries. So if I do 650, what will happen?
Order accepted. please
Order
come.
accepted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Visit
Visit
again.
again.
And if I enter 350, then
Please enter valid quantity.
so 350, if I enter, will come in this block. And this is that block which is notorious and might throw an exception. So 350 greater than equal to 500, true or false?
False.
False.
So we'll go in else. And what am I, and now as it is a user defined, you have to explicitly throw. So when you explicitly throw an exception, you use the throw keyword. Which keyword you use?
Oh.
So when you want to throw the exception explicitly, see, is there any explicit need to throw an arithmetic exception like this? Will I say throw arithmetic exception? Is there a need for this?
No.
No need to explicitly throw an arithmetic exception. As the condition occur, it will automatically throw by itself implicitly, correct? But here, as it is my own exception, so I have to throw it on my business logic, and this is my business logic. And you throw an object. So I throw object of which class?
Constructor.
So it has to be thought by the same class object, correct? And now it will go in this, and whatever you have messaged over here will come in this E1, and you are displaying that message. So when I say 350, what will it say? Which is the class?
No quantity.
Low quantity exception.
Is that understood? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So who understood both the topics today?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Test it, try, as well as both of it, right? So practice this, and if you need any help, you can, Monday we'll do a recap, okay? So I'll only do a recap for those who have practiced, and those who have not practiced, and they will not be able to understand anything. Okay, now it is showing the entire class and everything, right? If I just want to show the message, then directly we can say e1.get message. What we can show? So this will just show the message. This will just show the message, will not show the class name. So let's run it. Okay. And now if I say 45, okay, got it? So how you display the object and how you display the message. So I'll strike this also off from the schedule. And we also did throw keyword today. So when you want to throw your own exception, you can use throw keyword. So this also is done, and this also is done. Now left with throws and your exception. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Bye guys. Take care. See you on Monday 9 AM.
Okay, sir. Assalamu alaikum.